Life in Ogoniland is not a palatable one, not a good one. And if you have been following the processes of activities in Ogoni, you understand that right from, about 100 years ago, the Ogoni people have always fought, to organize themselves in such a way that they would determine their own development. However, somewhere around 1990, we had come together to question what was happening around us. Shell, the oil multinational found oil in Ogoni somewhere around 1957. And, they went into exploration and, commercial quantity in 1958, when, even in my village, Kurukuru, when, Shell, built a flow station. When I was giving birth to, I came to see this flow station working in my village. But unfortunately, just like every other communities in Ogoni where Shell operates, there wasn't any meaningful development, and yet we were dying. We were inhaling the negative, inhaling and also receiving the negative externalities from the operations of this company. The people had nothing, from it. We had nothing in terms of social amenities, in terms of even development needs. Our development needs were not met. Nobody discussed anything with us. In 1990, the Ogoni people, our elites, came together and said, no, that it was, not good, this thing continued to happen, that they were afraid that somewhere in the future, that their children unborn will come to ask them, what were you doing when you were living here and these things were happening to us? And true to type, they decided to organize us, to say, look, we should ask for why these things are happening and we're not having any benefit from it. And that then, it was a question of justice. We didn't know that, we were in a society where our government was irresponsible, was not prepared to hear people talking about justice system. And so, even if the second stanza of our national, our anthem talks about a society where justice will prevail. The federal government of Nigeria came about bringing UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program, to do an assessment of the dangers in Ogoni. Meanwhile, there has been a private, assessment of the destruction of lands in Ogoni. And we discovered that as far back as 1996, there was a report that says that almost every underground water in Ogoni has been destroyed. Traditionally and naturally, before the advent of the oil multinational firms in Ogoni, we were used to drinking well waters. We were used to drinking water from our streams. And of course, at that moment, then our streams were not destroyed. We know that even when we have had natural disasters, which I don't think also happened before I was born, because I should have been told, our waters, purify itself through natural means. But the advent of Shell helped to destroy our water. I could remember somewhere in the mid-70s, there was a destruction on Well 9 in Kurukuru, and the entire of the fishes in that river died. Aquatic lives were affected, our waters were destroyed. And so we were made and were forced, because we never had any other option. We didn't have any water, a potable water provided by either the state or the company itself. We were forced to be drinking those waters.